Hi there, viewers. Welcome to my views and news. Can you hear me? Thank you, Budjisiyama, for responding with yes. Thank you for your wishes, for your praise. Emil Faleke, MHJ, Light of Hope, Real Talk, Adib Klaus, New, Hassan Yusuf, Nahom Architects, Mustafa Farah, Yando Lami. Yes, Yando, I am following Ola's activities. Asad Ibrahim, uh, on daily basis, I'm updating you. Sarah does a video on daily basis as well. But we try to ensure that we confirm before reporting because government is not saying anything about this strike, and pro Ola elements are claiming as if life is to a standstill in Romania. Truth is in between it seems. That is why my updates are not uh, uh, very detailed and frequent, but almost on daily basis, I'm sharing an update about what is happening in Romania. MJ has joined as well. Why Ola burn buses? MJ says, well, Shide Noor says, hello Sajid, how are you feeling today? I'm better, Shide. Well, Ola made it clear that it won't let any commercial vehicles to be on roads. So that is why Abjun Arge welcome. So anyone who wants to go out, commercial vehicles especially, will be targeted by the Roma Liberation Army. Ola wants to prove to the government that it is basically the government. It can enforce its commands, its orders. Alarming, by the way, for the government when an armed group can make a region destabilized, and it can call for strikes, and strikes are being implemented too. Tikle Goitam joined as well. Let me share a roundup of today's news stories. Then Megatism joined too. Welcome, Megatism, you're right on time. Four news stories. Firstly, TPLF at last, TPLF issued a statement today. Months ago, I think it was several months ago that TPLF sat for a meeting. It wasn't just TPLF, it was TPLF uh, and Tigray interim government, Tigray military elite commanders all sat for talks. Since then, we have been waiting for the outcome. And today, a 6-page statement was issued by the TPLF, which seems to be a message from TPLF for yes, KOA, I am recovering. This statement is a message for the people of Eritrea and people of Ethiopia. I'll have a look at this statement. Secondly, a top TPLF member, uh, executive committee, central committee member has resigned. Thirdly, US today reiterated its position about Somalia, Somaliland, Ethiopia tensions. And lastly, former Somalia's prime minister 2 days ago used very strong language against Ethiopian PM Abiy, calling him an unpragmatic imperialist. Details of all these news stories in this video for you. Uh, EYL says US supports Ilhan position. I don't think so. Ilhan went too far, I think. She is opening Pandora's box. PO Boy Tucker, thank you. Yes, I'm recovering. She talked about past to that Somalis will take back the territories from Ethiopia and Kenya. I think if you start redrawing borders, wars will never stop. Should be careful. I think just to appease her support base in the US, she crossed some red lines. And now she is at the back foot. People are defending her. Let's see. But in the US, I think there is so much freedom of expression, freedom of speech that sometimes Small mistakes are overlooked. Uh, MJ says the translation isn't correct. Well, MJ, the translation about Somalia territories annexed by Ethiopia and Kenya is correct. Only issue about translation is that when she talked about protecting Somalia's interests living in the US, that part is controversial. That translation is contested. No question about what she said about Somalia territories allegedly annexed by Ethiopia and Kenya. She should have been very careful, I think. She shouldn't fuel conflicts. Living far away, she won't be facing the consequences. People here will be facing the consequences. Uh, Let me start with, I think we should start what TPLF is saying. Can I start? Okay. I don't transmit wrong news. Whenever I make mistakes, I make corrections. Uh, I don't think I have shared anything which is incorrect purposefully, intentionally. I always make corrections. Samper Fidelis is saying hello to me and my daughter Sarah. Sarah did her job today. Now she's sleeping. It's my turn now. Uh, Getachew has stepped down. Someone is saying, I don't know. I don't know if he stepped down or not. But thank you, Samper, for praising Sarah. She's very passionate. She is learning. Obviously, it will. She'll take some time, mm, but she'll get into the groove. I think gradually. Let me start first. TPLF spoke today. Six-page statement. Long statement. I'll respond to your question about Brigadier Hamido, Irati, and Pearl of Red Sea, but let me just speak about the statement. It's a new development. Statement came just an hour ago. The statement has six sections, you can say. Message for the people of Tigray, firstly. Message for the people of Eritrea. Message for all nations and nationalities of Ethiopia. Message for the international community. Message for TPLF. What is TPLF saying? Firstly, TPLF, interestingly, TPLF is asking all nations and nationalities of Ethiopia to help implement the Pretoria deal. Well, for me, this is very interesting. I mean, why is there need for TPLF to request the support of all nations and nationalities for the implementation of Pretoria? It means Pretoria is not being implemented. It means there is deficit of trust between TPLF and Ethiopian PM Abiy. It means TPLF believes Abiy is not interested or sincere in implementing Pretoria. That is why TPLF is requesting nationalities to support the implementation. And when TPLF says implementation, it means return of territories to Tigray, return of IDPs, restoration of Tigray's borders. It means restoration of political status of TPLF, uh, election in Tigray, allocation of budget, full-scale resumption of food aid, etc., etc. All that which was promised, which has not happened, demobilization, funding for demobilization, all that was promised is being demanded by TPLF, not from the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, but TPLF wants all nations and nationalities to support it. It's a very important development for me. It seems, for me, it means that TPLF believes that maybe Abiy will blackmail Tigray, Abiy will blackmail TPLF, and TPLF will have to seek the support of nations and nationalities. Which nation nationalities, by the way? Amharas, Oromos, Afars, Somalis, which regions? Who will support TPLF? Who will support Tigray? If Abiy does not want to implement the Pretoria, who will support TPLF? Are we going to see an alliance between Tigray and Amhara? Well, interesting development, but that is what. Thank you, your boy Tucker, for this contribution. Thank you for buying this super chat sticker. So this is first main point from the TPLF statement, which I think is worth discussing. Secondly, message from TPLF to the people of Eritrea. Interesting point here too. TPLF is asking the people of Eritrea that people of Tigray want to live peacefully in a coordinated, peaceful manner with the people of Eritrea. But Tigray's territories are under the occupation of Eritrean military. That is why Eritrean people should pressurize Eritrean government so that Eritrean government withdraws its forces from Tigray. And TPLF is asking the people of Eritrea to work jointly against the hateful narratives of Eritrean government. Again, here, how can the people of Eritrea pressurize Eritrean government? It cannot happen. Eritrean people, Eritrean masses are not in a position to register any influence on Eritrean government. It's as a workie's kitchen cabinet makes decisions. People cannot do anything. And by the way, Eritrean government says that where its military is deployed in Tigray, it's not part of Tigray. These areas are part of Eritrea, granted to Eritrea by International Boundary Commission after Algiers Agreement. That is why Eritrea is not in occupation of Tigray's territories. And by the way, this position of Eritrean government is supported by most Eritreans, I would say. Eritreans I talk to. So maybe TPLF is seeing an opportunity that there could be some elements in diaspora or in Eritrea which could support, which could join hands with TPLF against Eritrean government, though I don't see any such alliance. Only armed proxies can be formed by Tigray and Eritrea and vice versa. Otherwise, this message is just symbolic message. It won't have any impact. I don't see Eritrean people putting pressure upon Eritrean government. So these are two important points which I think we should be discussing. And thirdly, the statement indicates that the party still is surviving. We were hearing that maybe party will split, party will disintegrate. Several analysts have been building this analysis that TPLF's life is over, and rather it's overdue, and TPLF is not the future of Tigray. Whether it's not the future of Tigray, it is or not the future of Tigray, TPLF is there. The statement indicates that TPLF somehow managed to create consensus. Though we don't know what happened at the meeting, how many heads rolled, how many top positions vacated. Things will come out in coming hours. So far, joint statement indicates that TPLF has managed to survive. One TPLF party member, not member, senior leader has resigned. First sign of dissatisfaction, disagreement within the party. Name of this Party's Central Committee leader is Atinkat Misgabo. Atinkat Misgabo, a few hours ago, published his resignation, sent his resignation to Debretsion Gebremichael, TPLF's president. Uh, since this resignation was submitted today, thank you, Nathan Adiso, for this buying the super chat sticker. Thank you. Uh, I think that Ms. Gabo today submitted resignation to Debretsion. It means Debretsion is surviving as well. Debretsion still is the president of Tigray People's Liberation Front. We were hearing that maybe Debretsion could be removed. Debretsion is there. That is why PO Boy Trucker, yes, coup in Ethiopia, highly unlikely, just false rumor. I did a video on that. I spoke in detail on that. Some Somali activists spread this rumor today. I had to do a video to reject it because several people contacted me. Who not likely? Nothing is happening. The announcement of road closures by Ola or road closures in Amhara do not mean that a coup is coming or coup is ongoing or coup can happen. So a top TPLF Central Committee leader has resigned. There are issues, definitely. We could hear some changes which have been made in coming hours within TPLF. Maybe Getachew SFA and LM Gabre Wahid could be sidelined. But Debretsion is there, it seems. Mongerino there too. Though the statement does not mention about any large scale change within the party. That we'll see in coming hours. So far, party seems to have survived, and party is sending a message to the Ethiopian nationalities to support it and people of Eritrea to support it. Now I can take a little break. I can read your comments and questions. Then two new stories about Ethiopia, Somalia, Somaliland tensions, where US reiterated its position today, and a former Somalia's PM spoke. Vandi Farao says, "Hello, Mr. Saji. Nice to see you in good shape. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you, Vandi Farao." MJ says, "Is this MOU a commercial or a naval deal?" Well, it's basically a commercial deal, but commercial deal needs to be protected as well. If Ethiopia is ready to give shares in its profitable entity, obviously it would like to secure access to the port in Somaliland. It would like its navy to be deployed there as well. John says, update about the headlines, please. I did, John. I just spoke for 10 minutes about TPLF's message for the people of Ethiopia, for the people of Eritrea. I think you joined a little late. So I have covered two new stories already in the last 20 minutes. No problem, John, no problem. If you open the back foot says EYL. Well, the MOU has not been, it has not turned into an agreement so far. It was due to turn into an agreement within a month. It was signed on the 1st of January, so 1st of February after a few hours, but still it's just an MOU. Pressure on Ethiopia, we cannot deny that. But Ethiopia is not backing down. Difabatio says, nice to see you strong. Thank you, Difabatio. Bilal says, wish you good health. Bilal Moshe Asaya. Bilal, where are you from? Bilal Moshe Asaya. I mean, your name is a little difficult for me to understand. From which region are you? Picado Siyom says, yes, brother, you can continue. I'm continuing, Picado. Will there be any positive response from Eritrea to this message from TPLF? It's from Romeo Noorabdi says. Okay. Uh, well, the message is from TPLF. It's for uh, people of Eritrea, not for Eritrean government. Uh, Tigray leaders have been asking Eritrean government to come to the table. Thank you, Horn analysts, for joining. Uh, Bilal says, I am from Ethiopia working for humanitarian response in Yemen war. Okay, good to hear that. Bilal, very difficult station, Yemen. These days, things heating up there, so stay safe there. All prayers for you. So message is for Eritrean people from TPLF, not for Eritrean government. Uh, I think TPLF should have addressed Eritrean government. It should have asked Eritrean government to come to the table. That would have been better because this message would be seen by Eritrean government, Eritrean people to be a tactic to divide Eritreans. It won't sit well with Eritrean government, with Eritreans, I think. What has TPLF saying is irrelevant. Someone is saying not irrelevant. Please don't just dismiss TPLF. Let TPLF speak. TPLF is going nowhere. TPLF is here. TPLF has survived the war. It will continue in one or the other form. You cannot crush TPLF. That was a mistake to think that TPLF could be crushed. That mistake led to the war. So I think this mistake should not be repeated. TPLF should continue as a political entity, but it should also allow opposition to flourish as well. Because if you start banning political parties, political voices, it gives birth to violence, it gives birth to armed factions. Already, political parties are under pressure in Ethiopia. They are politicians are fleeing the country. So let the remaining parties survive, please. I'm not supporter of TPLF, but I am supporter of politics, political parties, opposition parties. I think if you ban all parties, if you don't allow parties to work, it means that there'll be no freedom of expression, there'll be no democracy. That is why it's better that TPLF survives, but there should be pressure upon TPLF so that there is a robust and strong opposition to TPLF in Tigray. Yes, I have seen the link you sent. Did you send the link about the interview of former Somalia's Prime Minister, Abdi Rashid? Ilyas says that is our internal issue, not your business. Yes, your internal issue, but I have every right to have an opinion. I am no one to uh, uh, make TPLF relevant or irrelevant. I have every right to have my opinion, and that is what I am sharing with you. You have every right to agree or disagree with it. Pano delegates went to Somalia. Someone is saying, I don't think so. No, I did not. Ebenezer, I did not receive any link about Musibi Abdi's interview. No, I did not receive any link. My Gmail ID is sajid67200 the rate of gmail.com. I have no information about Fano representatives visiting Somalia. It would be difficult, by the way, for Fano fighters. to visit Somalia. And by the way, who will represent FANO? Because FANO groups are operating separately, independently. There is no one body to represent FANO, and FANO is still struggling to find this cohesion and to form a sort of central committee to monitor political or military activities of the different groups. Now, thirdly, viewers, let me continue. I'll speak for 10 minutes more, then I'll end this live chat session. 27 minutes passed already. Do you see Fanos turning on each other? Jafar Jamal says, I have not seen any big development showing that Fanos are turning on each other. Just one incident, I think, happened weeks ago. Otherwise, there are issues, yes. There are issues about revenue collection. There are issues about donations. There are issues about territories too. But the issues happen. Keeping in view the way they are operating, how many brigades they have formed, there are bound to be issues. But still, they're surviving. Unity is missing. I agree, but it's not that they are. At loggerheads with each other. No, they have common agenda. They want to remove the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. They believe Amhara is in danger. So no matter how united they are moving forward, I think. Now, whereas US today reiterated its position about Ethiopia Somaliland MoU. Molly Fee is US Assistant Secretary of State for Africa Bureau, and she's top US diplomat in this part of the world in East Africa. And her statement was issued today, and she said that she called for respect for Somalia's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and secondly, she said that Ethiopia Somaliland MOU is disruptive to the fight against Al Shabaab, which is not just America's fight, but it's region's fight, Ethiopia's fight, international community's fight against Al Shabaab. That is why this fight against Al Shabaab should not be disrupted. And she called for dialogue between uh, Somalia and Somaliland. Thank you, P. Boy Tucker. From a father of two girls, myself for them. I am father of three girls, by the way. I have three cuties. Lucky to have three daughters. Yamesgan is saying that he's missing Mooney Mooney. I miss him too. Let's hope that Mooney Mooney recovers fast. But I talked to him a few days ago, and I found him in good spirits. He was making new friends. He was pretty comfortable at this institution. Hopefully, he'll return. He'll be here. So, US reiterated its position today again, showing its backing for Somalia. How far will US go in stopping Ethiopia Somaliland MOU? That we'll see. If I remember correctly, US opposed the filling of GERD too, but Ethiopia went ahead with the GERD filling. US opposed Ethiopian federal government in the war on Tigray. US took a pro-Tigray position. Still, we saw war went on for 2 years. So will Ethiopia stop? Will it give in to US pressure? Remains to be seen. I think Ethiopia is committed. It won't withdraw. Somaliland more committed than Ethiopia. So I don't see a de-escalation. The implementation of MOU could be delayed. US will have to offer something to Ethiopia to stop Ethiopia from implementing the MOU. That something could be uh, better deal from Somalia, from Djibouti. Ethiopia wants access to the sea no matter what happens. That is what I understand about Ethiopian position. Lastly, viewers, Omar Abdi Rashid is former Somalia's prime minister. 2 days ago, he gave an interview and he used very strong language against Ethiopian PM Abiy. These days, by the way, all Somalia's in power and opposition and former politicians are using strong language against Ethiopian government, Ethiopia. All want to be seen as patriots, as true Somalis. That is why they're using strong language, sometimes hateful language, sometimes insulting language against Ethiopian PM Abiy. Umar Abdi Rashid called the Prime Minister of Ethiopia unpragmatic imperialist. He said that he's a daydreamer and his country, Ethiopia, is on the verge of collapse and that he could attack, he could invade Somalia. Somalia should be prepared for an influx of refugees. Ethiopians could flee into Somalia, and he called for unity. All these opposition politicians or former politicians. Thank you, Ebenezer. I'll check the link after the live chat. All these opposition Somalis politicians want to be seen as patriots. That is why they're using this strong language, which is not helpful, by the way, because uh, how to resolve the tension? This is the question. Can threats work or not? Threats from Somalia. If threats are working, obviously Somalia should continue threatening Ethiopia. Otherwise, Somalia's government, opposition parties, they'll have to sit. First of all, they should reach a common understanding how to handle this issue. Regional governments, federal government, military, all should sit and decide what to do. They're not ready to talk to Ethiopia. They say Ethiopia should rescind the deal first, rescind the MOU first. If Ethiopia rescinds the MOU first, there is no point in talks afterwards. So talks can only happen if there is if the MOU is there. If MOU is withdrawn, it means Ethiopia has cancelled the MOU. There won't be any talks. Somalia will have to show some flexibility. Talks should be held. That is the way forward. I think mediators can play a role too. Ethiopia ready to talk. Ethiopia maybe should hope for peace as you don't want sun. Oh, well, uh, I don't think there's a difference between a daughter and a son. I don't think like this. I mean, you should raise your children in a way that they are beneficial to the society. They are independent, no matter if they are boys or girls. Uh, so that is what the situation is. I think at some point Somalia will have to show flexibility because talks is the solution. Ethiopia might delay the implementation of the MOU. It won't cancel the MOU. It won't withdraw from the MOU. Somalia will have to show a little flexibility. Talks should start. Mediators can play a role as well. That is how maybe some solution can be found. Otherwise, strong statements, hateful messages won't serve the purpose, I think. 35 minutes have passed, viewers. I think I have covered 4 topics so far. TPLF statement. Top TPLF leader has resigned. Then I talked about US Assistant Secretary of State for Africa Affairs, Africa Bureau, Molly Fee, who again today said that Ethiopia Somaliland MOU could disrupt fight against Al Shabaab. Lastly, I talked about the Somalia's former prime minister, who called Ethiopian PM Abiy an imperialist, unpragmatic imperialist, a few hours ago. So these were four news stories which I covered. I think we should end this live chat. 36 minutes have passed. Thank you for joining the live chat. Thank you for those who are appreciating my work, who buy super chat stickers, who buy super chat thanks. Your comments, your contribution, all matter a lot for me. Someone is saying, any Eritreans here? Yes, Eritreans here. Eritreans watch me, they ask questions too. But these days, hot topic is Ethiopia, Somaliland MoU, Ethiopia, Somalia tensions. So that is why most of the participants are Somalis, Ethiopians, Eritreans too. That is the beauty of my vision news, that people from all regions, all countries join this channel. And I am highly, I feel highly obliged. I think I'm very lucky that I have viewership from all parts of the Horn of Africa. Thank you for joining, viewers. I think we should end this live chat. See you tomorrow. Please do continue. Uh, please continue making corrections. I make mistakes. I need translations. I need exact translations. Sometimes I get wrong translations or slanted translations. So I need your feedback. I need your support. You send me information through email, through WhatsApp, through Twitter. That helps me a lot. Stay in touch. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.